Welcome to the Coastal Kitchen. Hi, I'm Karen Mashers, and we're welcoming summer also. I have a great menu for you, a lot of wonderful flavors. We're going to start with our pastry, fig and nut, beautiful combination. Then we're going to make some watermelon gazpacho, nice, refreshing with a little touch of mint. We're going to do some lemon garlic hummus with sun-dried tomatoes and finish off our entree with garlic shrimp kebabs. Let's get started. Okay, we're going to start with our pastry, the fig and nut. And I've got some puff pastry. Just get it from your grocery store unless you want to be industrious and make it, because it does take a little bit of time. And this is a fast and easy dessert. All right, I've got a cup of turbinado sugar. And I'm going to reserve my third of a cup that I had here. So a cup of sugar. It's a coarser ground sugar. It looks like real pretty crystals. Then we've got a cup of brown sugar. Let's get that in there. And just mix that all up. Sort of like a dump cake, and you can put what you like in it as far as nuts goes, but I am using today a cup of pecan pieces and a half a cup of sliced almonds. Just throw those in. Let's put a little bit of butter. I've got a fourth of a cup of butter. Nice and melted. Give it another little stir here. There's enough butter in the pastry to make it nice and moist, so you don't need a whole lot of butter in this. And this actually is enough to make two, so I usually make two, but I'm going to use the filling for one. All right, everything all mixed up. Let's set that aside. Now I have figs. And if you have fresh figs, I've got some dried ones here. And figs are a beautiful sweet fruit. And they even grow in North Carolina. California is probably one of the fastest growing fig areas. But just give them a nice slice. If there's any little hard place, just chop that off and throw it away. And I'm going to just cut these in half because I want a nice piece. So I'll keep cutting these real fast. Smaller ones you don't need to have to cut in half. Okay, got them all, and they're going right in with my sugar and my nuts. And we're just going to stir a minute. Now, figs are a great source of vitamin K. They've got magnesium. They've got a lot of fiber. So you are getting a little bit of healthy in here. The sugar doesn't make it perfect, but I've got a sweet tooth, so we're just going to have some sugar anyway. All right, now just take some of the mixture and put it right in the center. Keep it about an inch away from the bottom side, which is there, and about a half an inch away from the regular sides and the top. So make sure you get lots of that fig in there. All right, and what I'm going to do is make sure that my figs are dispersed because they have a tendency to stick together. You want to get them all throughout. And I'm just going to give it a little pat down. I think we can use just a little more. Now, this is real easy. Just take your puff pastry and start a roll. Just make it nice and compact. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it this way, seam down, and I'm going to tuck the edges under. Stick that right back in there. And I'm going to get this ready to go in. Okay. The sugar that I reserved, I'm just going to place some on the top. Just nicely pat it in so it stays. Okay. Now, this is going to go into a 400-degree oven for about 15 minutes, maybe 20, depending on your oven. You'll see when it turns golden brown, it's ready to come out. So let's slide that in, and I'm going to move some things around. And as I said, you've got enough filling for your second piece of puff pastry. Let's just move that over there so I can wash my hands real fast. All right. Now it's time to do our watermelon gazpacho. All right, this is a great summer soup. Gazpacho actually is a very, very old style of soup. Uses vegetables for the most part, and in the summer we're just going to use some watermelon too. So we're going to start out with about a half a pound of tomato. And tomato is one of the things that is in most gazpachos. All right, let's core this thing. I'm just using my trusty grapefruit spoon. Works wonders. And let's just quarter this. This is the best part about this kind of soup. You don't have to worry about how you cut. You just chop it up so it goes into your food processor. And today I'm using my tall one, so just goes right in. And this is going to take just about 2 tomatoes. Once I core this, it changes it a little bit. So if you want to measure, okay, let's take about half of this tomato. Right in the processor. Now it's time for watermelon. And I have a seedless watermelon. You want to make sure that if you use a seeded watermelon that you do seed it. And we're going to cut this into chunks. Okay, let's grab this, get it cut down. And I'm going to go for the sides, and then I'm just going to start I'm going to measure a little bit here, because it's going to take about 5 cups. And there is a lot of water weight in this, so we want to make sure that we get plenty of pulp. All right, looks like we've just about got what we need here on the watermelon. And I'm going to start putting some in, and then we're going to puree. All right, let's start. Now let's get the last bit in. And now comes some other ingredients. Okay, let me put this over here. I'm going to take a stalk of celery. Celery really enhances this. So all I'm going to do is cut it in half. Give it a little rough chop here. Just throw that in. And if you're making a bigger batch than this, you might want to use 2 stalks. Okay, now it's time for cucumber. Wonderful summer flavors. So let's peel some English cucumber. If you have a large cucumber, you don't need to use the whole thing. Just get about normal size cucumber, and that will be plenty. All right, let's get this out of the way. And I'm going to go to about right there. All right, let's just give it a, get right that out of the middle, and I'm going to take some seeds out. This is a seedless cucumber, but still has a little bit of seed. So let's just take as much as we can out. And now, nice chop. Cucumber has a lot of water in it too, so you can tell how wonderful this soup is going to be with all this moisture and the wonderful flavors of freshness. Okay, let's Okay, let's stop this right now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a lemon, and I need about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Give it some brightness here. And I caught the seed. Okay, olive oil, about 1/4 of a cup. Gives it a little body. And our last thing is some mint leaves. This really lets you know you're in summer. So about 3 tablespoons. And we're just going to chop it up. All right, in it goes. Close the lid and let it puree. Okay, all done. Let me grab my pitcher, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take regular iced tea pitcher, and I'm just going to put this in the fridge and let this sit until we're ready to serve. All right, ready to put in the fridge. Now, I've got to quick check on my pastry. Oh, looks perfect. Let's get that out real fast. Beautiful and golden brown. We're going to let that set for about 15 minutes to cool, and then we're going to slice it. So let me just put this right over there. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to clean up and get things ready for our next dish, which is lemon garlic hummus with sun-dried tomatoes.
Most people couldn't fit 200 local farms on their table. Well, that's where we come in. For the very best of everything local, Lowe's Foods.
Welcome back. I'm getting ready to make the hummus that we've chosen for today. Now, hummus is a wonderful appetizer. It's a great food source. I'm chopping up some garlic right now just to get into my chickpea mixture. I've taken 2 cloves, just rough chop. Now, let's start with our chickpeas. Chickpeas or garbanzo beans, same thing. What you want to do is get a can, and you can rinse them and let them sit after you've drained them. Just put them in a processor. They're a wonderful, wonderful source of protein and good carbohydrates. So I got my chickpeas in. You can use dried chickpeas also. It just takes a little bit longer. You need to soak them overnight. Okay, I've got tahini. Now, tahini is actually sesame butter. And I've got 2 tablespoons that I'm putting in with my chickpeas. It's a great source of protein also, and it's very high in calcium. Okay, olive oil. What a wonderful fat. Tastes good, and it's not bad for you either. Okay, now let's put in 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. And I've reserved some of my chickpea water, and I'm going to actually put in 3 tablespoons of the chickpea water. Okay, I have sun-dried tomatoes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep a few in here just for garnish, but we're just going to give them a little chop and right in with the rest of our ingredients. Okay, let's wash my hands real fast. And we're going to put the top on our food processor and let her rip. Okay, let's just make sure everything comes down off the sides so we get all those parts in there. We're going to just pulse it one more time, nice and creamy. That's how easy it is, all done. Let's get that in a little bowl. You grab one real fast. You can do these individually, or you can do them as one great big appetizer. All right, you can see what I'm going to do next. I'm going to take my tablespoon and make a lovely well right in the hummus. Put about a tablespoon of oil, and I'm going to throw some, and this is ready to go. All right. Let's set this right over here, and now it's time for pita bread because we're going to do this real fast. Let me grab my olive oil, my brush, and I've got my pita. Let me get a big knife here. And what I want to do is take each one and I'm going to just brush the top of it with a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to turn it over and brush the backside with a little bit of olive oil. Just a little. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to cut, and we're going to make 6 triangles. Just put those on your baking pan, and we're going to put them in a 350-degree oven. Let them bake and get toasty for about 20 minutes. We're going to take a short break. I'll be back and have my pita bread, and we will get ready to do some shrimp.
ATMC TV and the Coastal Kitchen would like to say thank you to our sponsors at Holden Brothers Farm Market in Charlotte for supplying the fresh produce on this week's show. For over 25 years, the Holden Brothers Farm Market has specialized in the freshest locally grown produce on their 250 acres in Charlotte. Swing by their indoor market located near mile marker 10 on Highway 17 or check them out online at holdenbrothersfarmmarket.com.
Welcome back. Pita bread is out of the oven. It's time to do our shrimp kebabs. All right, this is really easy. We're going to take our garlic, 1 clove, just cut it up, give it a good mincing. All right, we're looking good here, so let's get this in my big Ziploc bag, because everything is going in there. I've got to have 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. I'm going to have 1/4 cup of olive oil. And let's put in about 1/4 teaspoon of pepper and some basil. We're going to have about a good teaspoon. Just want all these flavors to emulate themselves into the shrimp. Okay, everything's there. I'm going to give it a little swish around so it can start, and I'm going to show you a little bit about doing shrimp the way I do it. All right, I've got some lovely shrimp here, and for this I am going to start peeling, and I'm going to take the last notch on the shell because I want to leave the tails on, and I just pull that away, get the rest of the shell off, and then I'm going to use a little knife and I'm going to cut the back vein just gently through the skin and the front vein. And I'm going to go over here to my water because it's the best way to get that vein out. And I like to wash them at the same time. So get the front and the back vein out. It's like a lovely little butterfly now. All right. Got that done. Let's do the last 4 and then we're going to put them in our bag. All right, last one done. Now, shrimp's just going to go straight into my bag. And I actually turned down the edges so I could keep the juice and everything from getting in my refrigerator. So, might want to do that. Let's get the shrimp juice off and get this sealed up. And this is going to stay in the fridge for about 2 hours. You're just going to give it a good marinade and just let it get all in there. All right, this is going into the fridge. And I already did one, so we're ready to go. These have been marinating about 2 hours, and I'm just going to move these over here. Let's get this right on my plate here. All right, rest of the marinade in the trash. Now, I've got some wooden skewers that have been soaking in water because I don't want anything to burn. And what we're going to do is take the shrimp, and I'm going to go about 1/2 inch in, and I'm going to make skewers of about 6 shrimp. And it really looks prettiest if you just stay with the tails all in the same direction. Okay, last one's all done. Let's go to my grill. Now, if you're doing this outside, you want it on a medium temperature. I've got mine here on low. It's going to take about 2.5 minutes each side, and let's put a little bit more oil on the grill, just a little bit. Just don't want them to stick. Okay, feel like I'm outside doing that. All right. Oh, lovely sizzles. All right, these are going to cook. We're going to come back in a few minutes with everything all ready for us to sit down and have a wonderful summer meal.
Most people couldn't fit 200 local farms on their table. Well, that's where we come in. For the very best of everything local, Lowe's Foods.
Welcome back. Look at this feast. A wonderful summer meal that includes watermelon gazpacho. Now what I did is I put just a little bit of mint and some feta cheese right on the top, crumbled. I've got our skewered shrimp all ready for me. In fact, I think I'll take a bite right now. Wish you were here. I've got jasmine rice just to go along as a side. Look at our wonderful hummus. Just take a little bit of kosher salt before you bake it and sprinkle if you like. I'm always sort of safe on the salt side by not doing it because I'm not sure who's going to be eating it. Now, let's take a look at our fig and nut tart. This is a great thing to serve with vanilla ice cream. You can use whipped cream or just by itself. In fact, it's really good as a breakfast pastry too. You can find all these wonderful recipes so you can try them if you'll search for the Coastal Kitchen on Facebook. We'll see you next time. Have a great day and enjoy your iced tea.
Stay connected with your community channel. Like ATMC TV on Facebook today.
We are ATMC TV, Channel 3 and HD Channel 910, your community channel.